This is it. In just a few minutes, we'll be dropped deep in the Amazon jungle. No roads, no rescue, just us and the unknown. Our mission, to officially map the source of the uncharted Coppenham River and attempt to climb the 2 highest peaks of Suriname in record time. For the next 30 plus days, we'll see no other humans. Out here, we're the outsiders. Most of the wildlife we encounter will have never seen a person before. Some of it beautiful, some of it likely to be extremely dangerous. Every step forward is a step into the unknown. So it was an early start. Woke up to a storm, didn't we, mate?
We did. We had rain for the first time in like 2 weeks.
Really nice place to stay at, though. And now we're just packed into this smaller boat. We've got quite a big, 3 hours ahead of us, I believe?
Yeah, 3 hours and 2 rapids that we have to move all the gear over.
Yes. All the way to the helicopter pickup point. So the lads, Dick and Jacob, will be flying today. So hopefully, they find somewhere to land or jump.
And hopefully the rain stops in the city. If it's raining there, the helicopter won't take off.
Yeah, let's see. It's all against us, but we're getting through it. Matt and I navigated upstream along the Suriname River, hauling all the gear we'd need for the expedition. Meanwhile, back in Paramaribo, Dick and Jacob arrived at the air hangar, preparing to load their equipment into the helicopter.
We were hoping to put everything in big dry bags, so just worst case scenario, we could actually push everything over so it can fall into the water in case we have to jump out, but it's not fitting. So we're trying to get some stuff underneath the chairs. It's gonna be a challenge. If we actually need to jump, we need to work our way around it, get our stuff from under the chairs and also throw them out. Hopefully we can find a proper landing spot.
As the helicopter prepared for takeoff, Matt and I hit our first challenge. So we just transported about 150, 200 kilograms of kit. The rapids behind me, too strong to get up by boat. And so the boat's been taken up without the kit. We've transported the kit maybe about 200 meters. Have put it on this boat now, and then we're gonna push on for a 3-hour journey. And it was really cool. Yesterday we were staying at a maroon community. Maroon community, they are descendants of escaped slaves. They were brought over from West Africa and they managed to escape and they ran upstream the Suriname River and just learned how to survive out here in the jungle. So they hold more culture of West Africa than actual West Africa. So people come over to study them here, to try to log their language, their way of lifestyle, their traditions, cultures, customs. And so it was such an honor to stay with them last night. Can't help but think as well how hard that would have been. With our boat and gear successfully hauled over the shallow rapids, Matt and I were back on the move, pushing upstream for another 3 hours. Our destination, the pickup point where, if all went to plan, a helicopter would pick us up, but that all depended on Dick and Jacob finding a place to land, or making the call to jump. For now, we could only wait and see.
Did it.
We did it.
We've made it to the pickup point.
Yeah, we are here. It's on to Dick and Jacob now. Hopefully they find a spot to land.
You comfortable back there?
Comfort's relative.
The excitement on their faces said it all. For the next 40 days or so, we'd be completely immersed in the deep jungle, surrounded by nothing but endless, unbroken nature. After an hour and a half of flying and 20 minutes of circling, searching for a clearing wide enough to land, or water deep enough to jump, they finally locked onto a target in the distance. What looked like a tiny dot from the air was just big enough to touch down.
Jacob and I have just landed. We're looking for a good spot with the helicopter. We had one fixed spot that somebody has been to before. Found a different one a little bit further upstream, saved us like 4 kilometers. I was looking at a different one that was like 7 kilometers further. That would have been a good save, but that was a little bit of a tight squeeze. And then we found a deeper pool where we could potentially jump, but because we had to unpack everything and put everything under the seats, we couldn't throw everything out. Unfortunately, we have to do 7 extra kilometers. So that makes about 17 kilometers as the crow flies to Juliana Top. So that's going to be a big challenge.
As Dick and Jacob took in the reality of their new isolated surroundings, the helicopter lifted off, leaving them behind and heading straight for me, eagerly awaiting the pilot's arrival. That's so cool. Here we go. So it's going to be me first with this kit behind, with mainly kayaks and rucksacks. This is good news because Dick and Jacob have clearly found a place to land. I don't know what it'll look like. With the mission now becoming real, it was time for me to be flown into the unknown, leaving behind all comforts and familiarities and diving headfirst into the heart of the jungle. My God, that was insane. That was ridiculous. You're flying over and there is nothing but jungle for miles upon miles. As far as the eye could see, you've got hills, you've got mountains. You're trying to look through the jungle. You can see bits of water that's really shallow, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, how are we going to hike this with all of the kit that we've got with the kayaks? I think there's going to be a lot of towing the kayak behind. You get a sense of remoteness for sure. There you go, there's the first fly. But also intimidation. You're looking down, you're thinking, this is it. And I'm asking different questions to the pilot about evacuation and where we can land as a pickup point. And it's like, we are out here, man. We are out here.
After being dropped deep into the most forested place on the planet, the helicopter made its final trip, heading back to collect Matt, the last to arrive in our new remote surroundings, where we'd be constantly on the move for the foreseeable future.
Oh my god, it's so cool!
It's like we're Jurassic Park or something.
This is it! This is it!
Left deep in the jungle, and instantly we were immersed in the raw beauty of this place. The wildlife here was unlike anything we'd ever seen. We caught a snake mid-meal digesting a frog right in front of our eyes.
So we heard the frog.
Yeah.
That's how we knew. And we knew it was a snake.
While Matt, Jacob and I set up camp and inflated our kayaks for tomorrow's journey, Dick put his expert fishing skills to work, tracking down our first dinner in the wild, a massive wolffish.
First meal of the trip.
Thank you for our dinner, Dick.
It's fast becoming my favourite fish because it's just pure meat. There's barely any bone.
It just went from being his favorite to fast becoming his favorite. I know. How did that happen?
I found a bone.
With all our tasks completed and a belly full of the freshest fish I've ever had the privilege of eating, we were finally ready to set off the following day. I took a brief moment letting everything set in. It was then that I truly came to terms with what we were getting ourselves into. This was no ordinary expedition, and the journey ahead would push us all to the limit, or potentially to breaking point.
So the boys and I are getting set now. We've got good food for this evening, which means we don't have to dip into the ration packs, which is good because it is the first day. We don't really want to be going into the ration packs too heavy just yet. Yeah, this is it, you know, this is a feeling that I'm very familiar with. It's always the first day. You've always got sort of lots of questions in your mind, and you know those questions will be answered as the journey goes. How will we all get along, and what will we all come across, and just how remote we are as well, and of course we're going to miss our loved ones. It's one of those where it comes in waves. At one point you're really high on life and you don't care and you're loving it out here, and then at another point you're just like thinking about everything back at home, about the comforts. And we are out here in, you know, a very isolated and remote part of the world where we're not going to see anyone now for at least 3 weeks time. The journey hasn't begun yet in terms of we head downstream. We actually head upstream until it gets too narrow or too shallow, where we then create base camp, and then we leave the majority of kit and we take the rucksacks and machete and we just keep going. It's going to be hard. We've got some big challenges ahead, but we have to take it day by day. We will get through it as a team, and hopefully we bond, we stay strong, we get on with one another, we get rid of all ego, all pride. You know, we need to just really sort of learn to work together as a team and get through this. The next week will highlight a lot of that, so we'll see how we all get on. We're pretty much in uncharted territory now. We don't know who or if anyone has been to this location before.
Stinging is a motherfucker. I got so many cuts in my hands.
Got ourselves lunch right by the waterfall.